the championship so close he can taste it.
Oliver Askew has won the Freedom 100.
Side by side. And your new champion, Christian Rasmussen.
Welcome back to Road to Indy TV Live, folks. We hope you're not tired. We know it's been a long day of racing. I'm Parker Thompson. I'm with Rob Howden, the Series Development Director. And we are here for the final race of Road to Indy here at the Thunder Grand Prix at NJMP.
It's going to be exciting. We got a dry track. So the great thing about today was even in USF 2000 and Indy Pro, dry, wet to dry, then a wet track for Indy Pro 2000, a big win for Artem Petrov. The biggest story, though, was Christian Rasmussen not finishing as well as he wanted. He'll start 8th right now as well based on qualifying earlier today. This is going to be a tough one for Rasmussen. A chance for Eves and those guys to get closer. A chance for Eves. Right now as they sit, there's a 30-point gap, as Rob and I saw on the sheet before we got on the broadcast. Rob, you brought up the point. If Eves goes out, he's on off-pole, which seems to be about 50-50. Yeah. Off-pole can get ahead of pole and take the lead. You take the lead here at MGMP in the dry, you got a pretty good chance of winning. If Braden Eves wins this race coming up and Christian Rasmussen finishes on that tail end of the field, it'll be down to 11 points. Yeah, it's pretty crazy right now. You think about that. There's not a lot of passing we've seen. Even Artem Petrov, who's super quick, struggled to get by Kiffin Simpson yesterday from the tail of the field. So this could be another one of those processional races, and if indeed that happens, it's going to tighten up this points big time heading into Mid-Ohio at the start of October. So, Christian Rasmussen, the saving grace for him is we don't have a big field here. That's very true, yeah. If we had, that 14, 15, 16, even 17 cars that we've had for most of the year, he'd be taking home half the points that he is. And let's think about this as well, where he's starting 8th. He started 9th in the last race, 8th in this race, and that very start of that race, when you're back in the back pack, not up the front, when they get clean through turn 1, everybody's scrapping for position. We saw him lose his front wing. He's right there again in the middle of the chaos. Anything happens to Rasmussen here, it blows this thing really wide open. Well, and he's in between a rock and a hard place. We've seen if you don't make moves in the first 2 corners here at NGMP, you're stuck in whatever position you're in. So he has to force himself to make moves, but forcing yourself to make moves, you get cracked too. And in race 2 there, he got cracked pretty good. That's exactly Took off his front wing, and then you're hopeless. So the crazy thing is everybody that's chasing him in the points right now actually in front of him on the grid. Hunter Macarey had the fastest lap, the second fastest lap in qualifying as well. That's what set the grid for today. So front row is going to be Macarey alongside Braden Eves, the 2 drivers that are ready to try to challenge him, Rasmussen, for the championship. This is going to be huge for both these guys. Now we'll talk about Macarey. Started on pole in race 1, got beat around the outside. I'm pretty sure he's ready to make amends, I would say. My number 1 rule of racing is never let anybody go around the outside of you. NGMP is a little different. That's pretty well the only way you can get around somebody is around the outside. But still, I think he'll be down in turn 1. He'll probably open his hands up a little more this time. Yeah, I would not be surprised to see Braden Eves try, of course, the outside run. And you said open the hands on the exit, kind of let that car drift out a little bit. But Eves knows what he needs to do here as well. There's no way that Eves cannot gain some points back here trying to get to Mid-Ohio. He's been really good there, but Christian Rasmussen won there as well. That's the problem. You're going to go to a place where Rasmussen's been historically very strong. No, if I'm Braden Eves, it's win it or bin it right now. I mean, championship-wise, you're going to end up 2nd or 3rd anyway, but if you go out and have a nice run in 2nd place, you're probably the nail is in the coffin for your championship hopes. But if he goes out and puts pressure on Christian, they go into Mid-Ohio at the final rounds with, that 15 to 20-point gap, then there's a chance. Yeah, and the other thing to think about, too, is row number 2 is Reese Gold and Artem Petrov. Reese Gold is still in the mathematical hunt as well, as is Petrov, as is McElroy. Petrov, of course, a much longer stretch run, but he wants to continue the momentum that he got after that win in the wet. An amazing drive. I think we were asking, who's going to be good in the wet? Well, from now on, it's going to be Artem Petrov because he was unbelievable out of the gate. But for him, with that momentum now, how good is he in this opening lap? Does he attack as well, knowing that he needs to get up front? Well, I always say this. It's the last race of the weekend. The cars don't have to roll back in the truck, and that is a big deal here on the road. Every engineer and the mechanic in the paddock right now is coming after you, by the way. Well, hey, I hate to say it, but that is how it goes. If you have another race coming up, you obviously know that the car needs to have 4 wheels when it comes back. If you don't have another race coming up, put a body bag on it, shove it in the hauler, take it back to the race shop and fix it. And they got a month to fix it before we get to Mid-Ohio in October. And again, that's exactly it. And again, that's the mindset we've talked about in every one of our pre-show shows, talking about mindset between team, the guys up front in the championship, and the guys further back as well.
It's going to be really interesting. You know, I talked with Reese Gold last night or yesterday after his race 1 win. Very aware of where he was in the championship. So, you know, we talk about Christian Rasmussen and obviously competing for the main championship against Braden Eves. You've got that Hunter McElroy, you've got that Reese Gold that are tight in points too. All those guys are thinking about that.
The one thing I like as well is for a guy like Reese Gold, I'm not sure if the mindset is there to, hey, I'm still having experience, because I think I'm expecting him to come back to Indy Pro 2000 next year. The other 4 drivers, Petrov, McElroy, Rasmussen, Eves, they all want to go to Indy Light. So this could, again, be an opportunity for Reese Gold just to get that experience racing against some veteran drivers and to be able to come back next year and really take a run at the title.
Well, and you bring up a great point, Rob. Silly season, I think, for all drivers this year is happening a little earlier than expected. I see a lot of the different shirts talking to different shirts in the paddock, not just on the road to Indy, across all of motorsports.
Yeah.
It seems to be happening a little earlier this year. Going to be real interesting, you know, if I'm Hunter, if I'm a few of these guys that want to move up. It's contract season right now. These are where people look at your results. Podiums don't get you that limelight that you need in order to get those good contracts. You got to dominate races. You know, Petrov, that was a domination.
Yeah, 100% it was.
Domination. So he's ticked the box off. I'm sure he's hungry to do it again. But if I'm Hunter, I'm going, I qualified on pole. I need to go prove that I can get through turn 1 on pole.
And he has the momentum again. He needs that momentum run. Even if he's not able to win the championship, like you said, a team's going to look at him for next year and say, we want Hunter McElroy with us, and he needs to go on a run. He won at Mid-Ohio, the last race at Mid-Ohio, had a really good run to the podium at Worldwide Technology Raceway on the oval. He's been on the podium already this weekend, on the pole now. If he gets a win, people are going to sit back and go, yeah, this is the Hunter McElroy we knew, not the one that had some struggles midway through the season.
For sure. And that's what's so important. You see, I always say it's most important to you got to have a good start to the season. But contract-wise, middle of the season out.
There it is, right?
And I have to say, I've done a good job. It's probably what's kept me around so long is you get the summer shakes out of the way, and usually I was winning races in the fall, and that's what always kept me coming back. So for Hunter, that is going to be on the top of his mind.
What a wild weekend, though, for sure, right? We've had so much different in terms of different approaches to races with rain, with the rain to dry, and back to one of the typical races here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, full dry. Again, let's talk about that because you kind of gave a really good example. This track is tough because there's so much aero here, and if you're out front, it's almost impossible to pass.
It is almost impossible, and that's why I think we're going to see so much action down in turn 1.
Agreed, yeah.
It's because drivers have had 2 whacks at the can now to go, okay, it's really hard to pass.
That's right, yeah.
I better get the job done in turn 1. You know, we see Jacob Abel yesterday make a move from, I believe it was 9th up to 5th.
That's right.
In turn 1. So it can be done. You've got to part the Red Sea, and you've got to dip, dive, dodge, and duck your way through, but you can do it.
And maybe hope for some little bit of argy-bargy in front. A couple guys getting together, you can take advantage of that. We saw a couple of guys do that as well. You got to be ready to pounce whatever happens. You can't be laying back. You got to be right in there. So if something does happen between a couple of drivers, you got to be there in turn number 2 to get to the inside.
100%. Yeah. And then carry it into turn 3.
That's it.
And then pretty much after turn 3, you're unless somebody makes a big boo-boo,
you're along for the ride.
You're along for the ride. Rob, you're. I think you're leading this weekend. You're not leading. I still think I've got the overall championship, but it's a little closer.
I need to see a spreadsheet before you think you got this whole thing. You have been doing well, though. I agree.
Predictions. I'll give you the last one. Hunter finished 2nd. Obviously, Rasmussen.
He was not in the game.
He was not in the game. So, Rob is clawing some points back on me. Rob, predictions for this race.
You know what? I hate going for the pole sitter all the time. I just think that Hunter McElroy is going to be super, super aggressive, and I'm going to go with him being real aggressive in turn 1 and winning this race.
That's strong. I already said it before, and I'll say it again. I think Braden Eves has got theoretically nothing to lose.
Agreed with you.
He knows he needs the championship, and if he doesn't need the championship, he needs those wins even more to negotiate those contracts in the offseason. So I'll call my shot there. I'm pretty sure that Braden Eves is going to do absolutely everything he can to wing it around the outside. And again, folks, we know those cars don't have to roll back in those trucks. So it's going to be real interesting to see how those front 2 take it.
And be ready for this opening lap. That's when all the action's going to happen. We have a 25-lapper here for you. It's probably going to get a little processional later on, but these first couple of laps are going to be damn aggressive.
Folks, thanks for hanging with us, but I think it's going to be well worth it. Let's get on to race 3 in Indy Pro 2000. For the penultimate rounds of the road to Indy, we've made our way to New Jersey for the first 2 championships on our ladder. Sitting on more than 500 acres in Millville, New Jersey Motorsports Park is the premier entertainment complex in the Northeast. NGMP is located conveniently near Philadelphia and New York City, offering a diverse and dynamic attraction both on and off the track. The history runs deep here at NJMP as the Millville Army Airfield opened as a gunnery school for fighter pilots for the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt in 1941. During its 4-year existence, about 1,500 pilots received advanced P-47 fighter training here. New Jersey Motorsports Park commemorated the history by naming its marquee 2.25-mile racetrack Thunderbolt Raceway, which is what we're racing here this weekend on the Road to Indy. There's something fitting about our Road to Indy contenders fighting for a championship at a venue where half a century ago fighter pilots trained. This 14-turn circuit will see the fights between Christian Rasmussen and Braden Eves in Indy Pro 2000 and Kiko Porto and Michael D'Orlando in USF 2000. These young men aren't just fighting for a championship, they're fighting for their career into IndyCar. Welcome to the Thunder Grand Prix. Let's do battle here in New Jersey.
Here is a bit of wisdom from your Uncle Cooper. Tires exist on a spectrum. On one end, you got too much tire. On the other, you don't get enough. Both ends are rip-offs. You're either paying for more than you need or needing more even after you pay. So if you want a tire that costs what tires should cost and does what tires should do, go right for the sweet spot. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
At TopCon, we know a thing or two about a smooth surface. Roads and highways, piece of cake. Airports, let's just say it'll be the smoothest landing you've ever had. But what about when you want to go fast? Real fast? No, faster. We've helped cars go faster than they've ever gone before. Broken a few lap records along the way. Want the best paving performance? Go to the source. TopCon, always one step ahead.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
As your uncle, I want you to know that on the road of life, there will be rough spots, and they will chew up your tires. I recently took a road trip to Greensville to attend a chili cook-off. Rough roads all the way down. I drove there on these Cooper Discoverer and Duramax tires. You know, they're made with the durability of off-road tires, but for on-road driving. Without them, we might never know the winning bean-to-meat ratio of a good chili. And those are the things in life, my friend, worth driving towards. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! I'm hungry now.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
And we are back trackside here at New Jersey Motorsports Park as the drivers in Indy Pro 2000 have rolled their PM18 race cars out onto pit lane to get things underway. Just about 5 minutes away from firing up these drivers and letting them head on to the track. A dry track at that for a 25-lap contest to cap off the triple-header weekend here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, the Road to Indy Thunder Grand Prix. been an up and down weekend in terms of weather, but the day-to-day even so much more exciting because of it, really putting a challenge to this particular track, this 2.25-mile, 12-turn course, the Lightning track here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. 10 drivers getting set to go here in the Indy Pro 2000 category. The championship still very up for grabs. 5 drivers in mathematical contention. Artem Petrov, 72 points back. Hunter Macarey, 64 points back. Reed Skold, 53 points back. And Braden Eves, just 30 points back of your point leader, Christian Rasmussen, last year's USF 2000 champion, looking to follow in the footsteps laid down by Kyle Kirkwood. Back-to-back championships for that American driver. Let's have a look at the grid. As I said, 10 cars ready to roll here now. James Rowe for Turn 3 Motorsport, the rookie, will start in the 10th position on the outside of row number 5. Inside of that row, Wyatt Prokachik for Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 5. As Parker and I talked about in the pre-show, Christian Rasmussen, your point leader, is going to start all the way back in the 8th position outside of row number 4. We've seen him be aggressive before. Went from 7th to 2nd around the outside at the oval at Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's going to be a lot tougher here at this particular track. Rasmussen in the Road to Indy red, white, and black colors will be starting that machine for Jay Howard Driver Development from 8th. Inside of that row, from the Cayman Islands, the rookie Kiffin Simpson in the number 21. Kiffin has had some great runs throughout the season here, and looking forward to seeing how he wraps up the season. He'll start 7th inside of row number 4, while row 3 will have Jack William Miller out of Indiana in the Miller Vinatieri Motorsports number 40, the red and white machine, on the outside of row number 3. Inside that row, in the Abel Motorsports Crosley Brands machine out of Kentucky, it is Jacob Abel in the number 51. It's been a good stretch of races for Jacob Abel, a number of top 5 over the middle part of this season. And again, starting in that 5th position, looking to keep that top 5 streak alive. Moving now to row number 2 on the outside, winner of his first Indy Pro 2000 race yesterday, Reese Gold, for Juncos Hollinger Racing, the rookie, top qualifying rookie here as well, in the number 55, driver out of Florida, starting 4th position. While on the inside, from St. Petersburg, Russia, coming off that dominating win in the wet weather conditions earlier today, Artem Petrov for Exclusive Autosport in the number 42, starting in the 3rd position. 10 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row, off pole, 2nd place in points at New Albany, Ohio for Exclusive Autosport. It's Braden Eves, the 2019 Cooper Tires USF 2000 champion. Eves in the number 91, a 122.741 during the qualifying. His 2nd fastest lap, setting him into 2nd here for today's race. He'll start on the outside of the front row. Well, the driver who will be on the pole position today, his 4th pole of the season, 2 wins here in the 2021 season for Pabst Racing. In the number 18, it's Hunter Macarey. Macarey, a 122.444, his 2nd best lap in qualifying, good enough to put him on the pole position. That run down to turn number 1 should be an exciting one for Hunter Macarey. So again, Macarey and Eves on row 1, Petrov on Gold, row 2, Abel and Miller, row 3, Simpson and Rasmussen on row 4, and Prokachik and Rowe on row number 5. All these drivers ready to cap off this weekend, and just over a month's time, we will head to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the season finale of the Road to Indy. Of course, scholarship worth over $750,000 up for grabs in the drivers here in the Indy Pro 2000 category, taking that scholarship and making the move up to Indy Lights, one step away from the NTT IndyCar Series. And also included in the prize package for the champion in Indy Pro 2000, an IndyCar test this fall as well, where that driver will join the top 3 in Indy Lights. Dry racetrack right now, but we have quite a bit of cloud cover here at the racetrack. Not sure whether or not we could potentially get some sprinkles here. It is indeed sprinkling a little bit. Why not? We've done everything this weekend. Let's have some sprinkles at the start of the race. Normally it's been wet tires on a drying track. We may find ourselves with sticker tires on a dampening track. This could keep very interesting, folks. We're about set to go. Let's fire things up, folks. As I said, 10 drivers ready to go here in the Indy Pro 2000 Grand Prix presented by the Anderson Companies. It's time to get things underway. Drivers, start your engines! And, of course, the power plant's coming to life. 250 horsepower, elite engines. Steve and Logan Knapp and the whole crew at Elite putting the work in on these power plants and an updated engine and evolution for the 2021 season. And it has been a fantastic motor throughout the year. And indeed, pace car starting to roll. And I'll tell you, folks, a little potential sprinkle down here on pit lane. This has been an odd day. It looked to me like we were going to stay dry through the rest of the day. I'll tell you, every one of the teams has got their Cooper wets ready to go. And in fact, many of them starting to pull them down already. Get those wet weather tires if they need them. Now, the concept here, if indeed we will have to go from wets to dries, and I think Parker Thompson mentioned this in one of our earlier broadcasts, I believe that we would go red if indeed the drivers are out there and it gets to the point where it's too slippery. It's not like we have to let them come in and make their choice to change tires. If indeed it gets to the point where our race directing team feels it's too dangerous on the racetrack running the slicks, they will throw red. Everybody will come in and then get a chance to change to the Cooper rain tires. So ready to get things underway. Once again, Hunter Macarey starting on the pole position alongside Braden Eves. Both those drivers still within mathematical contention of winning the championship. Macarey back right now by 64 points. Braden Eves back by 30. And as we talked about in the pre-race, just to give you the kind of either end of the extreme, if Braden Eves were to win and Rasmussen were to have an issue and finish 10th, at the tail of the order, the gap would shrink to 11 points. That's really the extreme that could happen in terms of the title. Of course, everything's still going down to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, but we've got ourselves most definitely a battle at our hands here right now. Macarey with the bonus point, of course, for qualifying on the pole. He'll see if he can't get out front. And again, like I've said before about Hunter Macarey, if he gets out front and has open racetrack, that guy is very, very tough to beat. We've seen that over his years here running in the Road to Indy. Of course, the runner-up in 2019 in the Indy and the USF 2000 series. So again, drivers working their way now around through turns number 6 and 7 as we get set to go racing. Hello to those of you tuning in here on the Road to Indy TV app or on IndyPro2000.com or potentially roadtoindy.tv or maybe watching this race a little later on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. You're getting a chance to see the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. These drivers in Indy Pro just 2 steps away from the big show. Pace car's going to duck on off. We're ready to go racing here, folks. And again, it is Macarey on the pole. He will set the pace when they roll up the starting line just kind of midway through into the pit lane. You'll see it to the right there, the RTI sign to the right side on the pit wall. That is the punch off. Anytime after that, Macarey can get on the throttle and spool things up. Here they come. Again, the turn one's going to be the crazy run into the zone. Green, green, green. Great start for Macarey, but a good one as well for Braden Eves. Braden trying to potentially come to the inside of the racetrack. He's going to try to run the outside as well, thinking about sending it around the outside. He will hold on to second. Artem Petrov getting a good run, I believe, into the third spot as he has held Reese Gold on the outside. Big move to the inside as well comes, I want to say, Jacob Abel, I think, able to get by Reese Gold. Indeed, Gold goes back a couple of spots through turns number 2 and 3 cleanly thus far. First time over the rise and down into turn number 4. Macarey with the lead. Eves goes into second. And a trouble for Rasmussen. You have got to be kidding me. Trouble for Christian Rasmussen. Damage to the left rear or right rear potentially. That car crabbing down the racetrack. Rasmussen is going to be out and dead last. Trouble for Rasmussen. Back-to-back races where he has had opening lap issues. And I said Rasmussen with some type of rear suspension issue. You have got to be kidding me. This is blowing the championship wide open. Continuing to watch down whether or not we'll have any precipitation here. We talked about some potential sprinkles early. At this point, nothing else coming, so still staying dry. The 2 exclusive Autosport drivers lining up right now, Petrov and Eves. Macarey out to the lead as I expected from him. We're getting a challenge to the outside. Here comes the exclusive cars side by side. Petrov to the outside. Eves still on the inside. One driver goes 4 wheels off on the outside. That, I think, was potentially Reese Gold, I think, went off. Jack William Miller's been able to hold on to P4. I think that might have been Reese Gold who went 4 wheels off on the outside. And he's in the wall. He's actually off and into the wall, the wet grass, straight back in. So we have the 55 of Reese Gold off the racetrack. So this likely will bring out the full course. Oh, a driver's gone around. Another driver around. And another driver has to take evasive maneuvers. The guy going all the way around spinning was off track, was Kiffin Simpson. Not exactly sure who spun down in turn number 5. We'll get a better look at that when they come around. It might be Jacob Abel. Indeed, Jacob Abel, the driver, looping it around. Still staying, I believe, in the green. Yeah, we have not gone to yellow as of yet. Macarey's going to come across the line. Eves in second. It's still Petrov in third. It's not. Now, that actually was Jack William Miller who went around, not Jacob Abel. It was Miller who went around. Jack William Miller around in turn number 5. Jacob Abel still okay. Abel comes across the line in 4th. James Rowe up to 5th. From 10th to 5th. Wyatt Prokacek 6th. Jack William Miller 7th. The number 1, a Christian Rasmussen. You cannot believe the bad luck of Christian Rasmussen today. They're still going to work on that machine. This is going to cut this championship lead down massively. As they run on the racetrack right now, it would be a 16-point lead heading to Mid-Ohio. Someone just threw some fuel on the fire. Hunter Macarey trying to get himself up. What would he be? 345 to 390. He'd only be back by 45 points as well. Still a long shot for him. But if he went in and dominated the action, there would be an opportunity for Macarey still to get the championship. Having Reese Gold off the racetrack right now and done in the 9th position. That is going to obviously take him pretty much out of the championship contention. In comes Reese Gold. He was able to refire it, though. Rear wing off the car. He is in the 9th spot. Now that rear wing, might be something that would be pretty tough to replace. That's just not the wing itself. You're talking about the full mount on it as well, because he backed it into the Armco when he went off there on the exit of turn number 2. Looked to me like one of the exclusive cars had to check up. They were side by side coming through turn number 1, and one of them had to check up. I think it was Artem Petrov, had to check up. And when he did, the car got a little squirrely sideways on him. When he did, really, Reese Gold nowhere to go. He ended up moving to the left of the racetrack, off into the grass. And at that point, with the precipitation that we've had, that car went shooting off the racetrack. So tough one, of course, there for Reese Gold. But nonetheless, Hunter Macarey leads. Braden Eves in second. Artem Petrov third. Jacob Abel in 4th. And James Rowe now in the 5th spot. Looking at the team championships, D-Force Racing extending their championship in the team or the USF 2000 team standings. Win with Kiko Porto and a win with Nolan Siegel today, so they're in great position. Same goes for Exclusive Autosport, looking good here right now as they run 2nd and 3rd. Macarey out to the lead though, and in fact Hunter Macarey has closed up here now, I believe, on Jack William Miller, who's been able to continue after his spin. Macarey right there with him. We'll see as they work their way over here to turn number 4. Yeah, indeed, there it is there. Macarey right in front of Jack William Miller coming into turn number 6. I guarantee you that Macarey is on the radio asking for somebody to please get him out of the way. Jack William Miller still on the lead lap, though. Obviously doesn't want to give up the lead lap just in case there was a yellow. Hunter Macarey leading pretty nicely here right now. It's a 3.7 second lead. Onto the front straightaway now. Jack William Miller still ahead of Macarey. Macarey's got a pretty good lead, though. But you know he won't want to have to deal with a car in front of him that could potentially burn up those fronts a little bit, getting that air wash he doesn't want to deal with. He wants that clean air. Miller staying there. Again, you don't want to risk it and try to make a pass to put him a lap down and potentially have contact that would take you out of the race. Again, as I said, the way things are shaking down right now, Rasmussen would leave with 390 points. Macarey leaving with 345. Still got to look at fast lap of the race and most laps led. Macarey looking good on that right now. Yeah, with everything he's got going, fast lap of the race right now, 3:48 for Hunter Macarey. So make that 42 points back. It's a lot to make up in a single race weekend, but it makes it a mathematical chance. Reese Gold not done either. Actually, he'll be 52 points back, so still an opportunity to him. There's 66 points on offer on the weekend, so Reese Gold still with a shot, except for the fact that 10th place, and if we only have 10 cars at Mid-Ohio, you know that Rasmussen would be guaranteed of at least 22 markers. So Reese Gold done for the day, as is Christian Rasmussen. Macarey out to a 3.7 second lead. Exclusive Autosport drivers run second and third. So Macarey able to get by. You wonder, I think Miller likely allowing him to get through. We'll keep an eye on that fight a little further back, at least not the fight, but the close-up, because obviously the Exclusive Autosport driver's running good. But I'm looking back there as well at Jacob Abel, see what kind of speed he dials in. He was quicker than Eves on the last lap, was Abel, by a 10th, so not close enough, but still a long race. Not too far behind them, James Rowe in 5th and Wyatt Prokachik in 6th. Rowe able to get through the incident at the very start and move from 10th to 5th. Again, watching lap times. Another fast lap there for Hunter Macarey, 1:15.390, like I said in the pre-show. When he puts his head down and gets out front, he's like a bull out there. Doesn't make many mistakes. He's making it happen right now. Got a big lead over Braden Eves, but Artem Petrov as well, still in that fight. I want to say that he'll be potentially in the fight as well still. What would he be at? He'd be at 61 points back. Very tough for Artem Petrov. And Christian would have to not even start one of the races for Artem to get a chance to win the title. Nonetheless, it's been a great run here for Artem, having a good, solid run after that incident at Worldwide Technology Raceway. If you watched the race just a week ago, remember, hard impact into the wall, the contact between he and William Miller, both drivers in the wall. And just to have Artem back with us after that hard hit, I think is a big positive. Good to see him in the paddock. Good to see him on top of the podium earlier today as well. Artem's not the really a hugely outgoing guy in terms of his emotion. Keeps everything close to his vest, but couldn't help but crack a couple smiles there after a big race win. They've got the car finished for Christian Rasmussen, and that's a key move. Because with Reese Gold out, that's going to give him one extra point. From 10th to 9th is 11 to 12. If he wins by the championship by 1 point, getting that car fixed and getting him back out onto the racetrack did it. So Rasmussen rolling again, the team getting that car fixed. He'll be able to leapfrog over Reese Gold, and you never know who else he may be able to get if somebody else has some issues. 8 laps down, still 17 to go. 25 lapper to cap off the day here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Again, my name's Rob Howden, joined throughout the weekend here by the host of Road to Indy TV, Parker Thompson. We've had a bit of everything. We've had dry races like we have here right now. We've had wet track races. We've had drying or wet to drying track races. Both of our USF 2000 races today started on wets, and at the end, those tires were chewed up. We had guys coming in to make pit stops. Yuvan Sundaramurthy coming in on lap number 1. Team making a great stop for him. He's able to power his way all the way back through the field to P3, a stellar run there. A lot of intrigue in those kind of races when people have to make a strategy call. And Yuvan did a tremendous job working his way forward. A couple of guys got positions late in the run as well. Billy Fraser, I think, was able to get 3 positions as well for Exclusive Autosport. I think he was 14th, actually, maybe 4 spots. 14th on the penultimate lap, past 4 drivers in the final circuit to move his way up into the top 10. Macarey across the line once again, stretching that lead out a little bit. The 2 exclusive cars still lined up, second and third. Down into 1 come Braden Eves and Artem Petrov. Another solid drive here for Jacob Abel to P4. James Rowe in 5th, Wyatt Prokacek 6th. Christian Rasmussen has now put another lap in the books, so move him up into the 9th spot. 391 points for him on the season thus far. Potential for back-to-back 9th place finishes. Wyatt Prokacek and James Rowe, very similar lap times, both 1:15.9s last time by. Macarey down to a 15 flat. And again, I'll tell you, Jacob Abel is closing in a 10th at a time on the battle for second and third. Petrov not quite close enough to make anything happen. Here comes Abel as well. Again, it took Artem Petrov all race yesterday to finally be able to get around the outside in turn 1 of Kiffin Simpson. Tough to pass. A lot harder to pass your teammate who's up front, a race winner, and it's your teammate, so you potentially don't want to force the issue. Got to bring the cars home. First rule of team racing, don't wreck your teammate. $15.3 for Macarey, $15.8 for Eves, $15.8 for Petrov, $16.2 for Abel. Dropped off a little bit that last lap. Good call, though, for the Jay Howard driver development crew to get Christian Rasmussen back out on the track. You never know what's going to happen with somebody potentially having a retirement, whether it's a part failure or driving off track, making just a little bit of a mistake. Every position's another point when you're further back like that. Again, as they run on the racetrack right now, I want to say it's 17 points difference right now, I think. Am I right? Yeah, 17-point difference between Christian Rasmussen and Braden Eves. Going to a racetrack where both drivers have won. I think that's the best part about Mid-Ohio right now, which is crazy to me. Rasmussen won there this particular year, and Hunter Macarey was the won the back end of that one. But last year, Braden Eves won there, was able to score victories there in USF 2000 as well. It's a track that he calls his home track. He's from nearby New Albany, Ohio, just one of the suburbs of Columbus, which is right close to the racetrack. Mid-Ohio's his home for Braden Eves, and he'll have a chance to challenge with Christian Rasmussen. 7.2 seconds now the lead for Macarey. What a great little run it's been for Hunter Macarey. This literally would be his 5th straight podium finish. 2 wins in that as well. And actually it would also be his 6th straight top 5. 4th at Mid-Ohio in the opening round. Won the Sunday race. 3rd at Worldwide Technology Raceway on the Oval. And a couple of second-place finishes here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. One better today, again, would give him 5 straight podiums. And no other driver's done that in these last 5 races. So, incredible. I'm looking at the result. I don't think anybody's done it in the top fives either, no. In the last 5 races, it'll be 6 races. It'll be the only driver who has been top 5 in all of those races. Hunter Macarey coming alive here at the end of the season. And then going to a track that he's won on before. He knows how, he obviously was able to dial things in, him and the team at Mid-Ohio in the second race of that doubleheader on the NTT IndyCar Series weekend. So there's definitely an opportunity for Macarey to step up and be the dominant factor. Lots of great storylines going into the finale on the opening weekend of October. We'll have it all live here on the Road to Indy TV app, all the series websites, and of course, roadtoindy.tv as well. There's the gap for Macarey to Jack William Miller, who's a lap down. You can't even see the leaders. Now, finally, as they come cresting where we can see them, Macarey already on the turn-in. Still a good run for Braden Eves and Artem Petrov. You consider that Petrov was in the infield care center a week ago, just over a week ago, last Saturday, after that wreck, nasty hit on the wall and the safer barriers at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And here he is now running P3, coming off a victory, still in a long shot mathematical position to try to win a championship. Petrov's been a really exciting addition to the Road to Indy since he came over here in 2019. Obviously put a great show on last year running with Juncos Racing. Moving over to Exclusive Autosport this year and really has gelled with the squad. .041 now the gap for Hunter Macarey out front. That's visually out of turn 11 as they're turning into 10. And that's Jack William Miller behind them. And then if you look way over there, yes, coming into view is Braden Eves. So I want to say Christian Rasmussen fast lap of the race as well, 114.770. Another tough one for Rasmussen. He showed good speed after putting that new wing on earlier today. Was a lap down. Now significantly 7 laps down now, but just turned fast lap of the race as well. That's another bonus point. Keeping it away from one of the drivers he's challenging with. 114.7, literally 0.3 faster than the leader. Lap 16, I believe, going in the books now. 9 more to go. Braden Eves has checked out on Artem Petrov. Drivers now working their way down into 1. I want to keep an eye on Kiffin Simpson as well. Kiffin trying to close up here now on Wyatt Prokachik. Was quicker by a full second last time by. Simpson dialing things up to try to go after Prokachik and Rowe. Let's pick that up. There's Simpson right there behind Prokachik. That kid's on fire right now. So Kiffin Simpson dialing it in. Those 2 drivers in front of him, we could have ourselves a battle potentially for the final position in the top 5. See if Kiffin Simpson can close up enough on Prokachik here to potentially make a move down into turn number 1. Going to run that outside line. What we've seen all day long is getting that really good run out of turn 12, forcing the issue so the driver has to go to the bottom of the racetrack, making the run around the outside, keeping him forced down into the corner, and then getting that good outside run. Let's watch him coming through here. That's your leader. I don't think that Simpson quite close enough right now, but he is definitely closing up on Prokachik. There's that position there. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. James Rowe, Wyatt Prokachik, and Kiffin Simpson. Now, again, we've talked about this throughout the weekend. Catching a driver is one thing. Once you do get there and you start losing that arrow on the front of the race car, you start getting a little bit of that entry push, the understeer that helps burn up these tires. You've got to position yourself correctly. Parker Thompson talked a lot about having the side of the car, the wing, just out a little bit to get enough air flying over top of that wing. All about getting out of turn number 10 correctly to get through 11 and into 12 to be able to get that run. Update from race control that the number 21 of Kiffin Simpson being hand timed right now. Issue with the transponder, so they're hand scoring Kiffin Simpson. Little update for you. Drivers coming out of turn 12. Let's have a look at the exclusive Autosport cars. Cruising into turn number 1 here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Simpson getting that full toe down the straightaway. Not quite close enough, though. Out of turn number 2. The interesting thing is he's dealing, of course, with that arrow push, that understeer, but so is Wyatt Prokachik, because he's close enough to the back of James Rowe Jr. that he's dealing with the same effect. Fifth, sixth, and seventh. Back into that 6-7 combination. Big sweeping turn number 9. See if Simpson can get close enough this time coming out of 12th to potentially challenge Prokachik. 19 laps down, 6 to go. Capping off this road to Indy Thunder Grand Prix at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Simpson falling back a little bit now. Doesn't have that position that he wanted on Prokachik. He's lost a bit of ground. Speaking of the good run of top 5s for Hunter Macarey, again, this would be his 6th straight top 5 and 5th straight podium. Jacob Abel's had a pretty good run of top 5s as well. Literally, if we go 6, let's go back to top 6. Let's go top 6 for Abel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be his 9th straight top 6. And of those 9 races, 7 of them were top 5s. So, again, a great second half of the season as well for Jacob Abel. Really, really consistent. Strong run here, currently P4. Abel's got the Crosley Brands logo on the side of the race car, sponsor of the team. $115.86 for Macarey. Everybody else, 116 flat. Abel, 116.5. Rasmussen, a 115.8 as well, of course. 8 laps back, or not 7 laps back, but he's still putting a good lap times, and I believe does have the fast lap as well, that bonus point, which could be crucial. They got him back on the racetrack, fixed the damage from the opening lap. And I'll tell you, calling that, you think how crazy could it be? The extreme would have been him finishing dead last in 10th and having Braden Eves win. Looking more possible like 2nd and 9th. Still, when I saw that car coming over, crabbing with the damage to the suspension and that number 1 on the front of that cowl, like, wow, you got to be kidding me. Christian Rasmussen, there's no luck here this weekend. Finished 3rd in the opening round, got some points. 2nd at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Got to go back to the opening round at Mid-Ohio for the last victory for the driver who's currently leading the points. Hunter Macarey, the most consistent driver over the last 3 events. Mid-Ohio, Worldwide Technology Raceway here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Nothing but top fives. And this would be, again, his 5th straight podium. Rasmussen coming into pit lane once again. To the point now that even if somebody went out, I don't think, he wouldn't be able to get enough. So might as well save the engine, bring it in, park it. He's done 13 laps. Best he's going to get to is 17. Everybody else has already done 21 or 20. So he'll park it, has that fast lap. Damage is done, though, for Rasmussen. The championship lead coming down to 17 points now after a dismal weekend here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Onto the front straightaway comes your leader, Hunter Macarey. There's your second and third place drivers. Jack William Miller, lap down there in running right behind, or such you're behind Macarey. But here is second and third. Petrov still not close enough. But again, great points for the team championship for Exclusive Autosport. They've all but locked it out. Tell you one thing, just somebody just sent me a pic, which is pretty hilarious. You think about the car of Reese Gold coming in here with no wing. That wing is literally still stuck in the Armco out where he was in turn number 2. That the wing, when he backed it in, stuck right there, got back on the throttle. He was able to pull away, but the wing stayed there. So right now, Indy Pro 2000 wing watching from the outside of turn number 2. Laps clicking away for Hunter Macarey, and I called it in the pre-show. You let this guy go out front and give him open racetrack, he's going to put it down. Narrowly missed winning the championship at USF 2000 back in 2019. Won a bunch of races that year. Graduated up. He and his teammate Colin Kaminsky graduated with Pabst Racing. They moved into Indy Pro 2000 last year in 2020. And again, not a new team, but a new program within the team. So they didn't have all the data. Everywhere they went, they were building the database, and they were quick when they got better and better throughout that year. Macarey eventually winning the final race of the season at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Came out of the gate saying, you know what, I'm a championship contender. We put this team together. We're looking good. And indeed was able to win the second race at Barber. And obviously, things are working. Goes back to St. Petersburg with a podium third, fourth in the second round. But then a little run. Indianapolis, 10th, 8th, and 7th. 5th at Lucas Oil Raceway. Road America, 7th and 6th. Not what you would expect from a Pabst team at Road America. But they've dialed things in, have they not, over these last 3 weekends. Mid-Ohio, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and New Jersey Motorsports Park, a run of what will be 6 straight top 5 finishes and 5 straight podiums. White flag flying for Hunter Macarey. This is the way you want to finish, on a high, rolling, heading back to a racetrack that the last time you drove there, you won. Macarey, it's a long shot for him to win this championship in terms of points, but all you can do, any driver will tell you, all I got to do is get out there and win races and let everything else wrap it up. If he's able to get a couple of wins there, even a couple of podiums, you think about the stretch, he will have essentially went podiums in the last 7 races of the year. What a great season. Our second half of the season here for Hunter Macarey. And again, I really hope that he's able to make the jump to Indy Lights next year. This is a guy that we need in Indy Lights. This is the guy that we need in the NTT IndyCar Series. I always laugh. It's kind of an ongoing joke that I'm not really sure how to detail Hunter Macarey. But again, born in California, raised in Australia. Parents are from New Zealand, dual citizenship. He was actually born here, as I said, in the United States. Dual U.S. and New Zealand citizenship. Bottom line is he's getting the job done. Out of the final corner, what a dominating performance. 5 straight podiums. Hunter Macarey with the win to cap off the weekend here in New Jersey Motorsports Park. Exclusive Autosport drivers are rolled out as well. What a great day for Exclusive Autosport. Tremendous day. Braden Eves in second. Artem Petrov third. Jacob Abel, another podium in fourth for Abel. And here's this battle. It's been nose to tail all race long. James Rowe in fifth. Wyatt Prokachik sixth. Kiffin Simpson seventh. Jack William Miller a lap down in eighth. Christian Rasmussen getting back on the racetrack after the damage. 14 laps puts him in ninth, still with a 17-point lead heading to Mid-Ohio in just over a month's time. And Reese Gold out on that opening lap after contact in turn two, put him into the Armco on the outside of the racetrack. This one was all about Hunter Macarey completely leveraging the pole position he got through that second fast lap in qualifying. Can't ask for much more out of Macarey to get the job done. Not the fast lap of the race. That's the only thing. I think that belonged to Christian Rasmussen. He was able to get that position. But nonetheless, a tremendous drive for Macarey. 5 straight podiums, 6 straight top 5 finishes for the Kiwi. Excellent, excellent run. Macarey, Eves, and Petrov, that'll be your podium. And I'll head down right now to Tatus Victory Lane. Fifth straight podium for Macarey. Number 18 coming in here. Working his way over on the junior as well. Struggle to get the steering wheel off right now. Can't get out of the car. They'll work on that. They'll get it dialed in. They'll get out of the car. 5 straight podium finishes. 6 straight top 5. And he's out of the race car. What a run. Hunter Macarey getting the victory. Keeping himself in mathematical contention for the championship. It's time to celebrate. That's the way to cap off the weekend. Great job for Hunter Macarey today. And of course our second and third place drivers for Exclusive Autosport. Strong run for them as well. Braden Eves and Artem Petrov. Once again, Macarey out of the race car already. And, tremendous drive. The run he is on here to cap off this season is absolutely stellar. 5 straight podium finishes, as I said. Give him a chance back. Congratulations from Dan Anderson. Exclusive Autosport drivers working their way over here as well. Tremendous weekend for them. We're done here at New Jersey Motorsports Park as well. All we got to do is hand out some hardware to the deserving drivers here. Hunter Macarey wrapping up there with the press to get things underway. We'll jump into the podium and get rolling here right now. Tremendous drive, as we said, some great racing in this particular category, but really these guys are getting out there and getting the job done. Finishing in third spot, folks, today for Exclusive Autosport, a win in race number 2. Third spot today, Artur Petrov. Third position, Exclusive Autosport. Good day for Exclusive in the team championship standings, no doubt about that. This driver again coming in second, cutting the point lead down to 17 markers, heading to the finale at Mid-Ohio. Finishing P2, Braden Eves. Exclusive Autosport driver, as we said. We're going to flank the guy that got the win. Can't say much more about this guy, folks. As I said, 6 straight top 5, 5 straight podium finishes, and another win here today. Put your hands together for Hunter Macarey. That's racing driver. Hunter, I'll follow you up here. We'll have a quick chat. Stay right there in the middle for me. I heard you say that you didn't want the race to end because you're having so much fun out there. You're on a heck of a run right now. As I said, 5 straight podiums. This is more of what we wanted, right? Not what was happening mid-season.
Yeah, I mean, it was for sure a tough time, but it's not about what you go through. It's about how you bounce back, and I think it's pretty clear how you bounce back is what we've done. And yeah, man, I mean, I was happy with how this weekend went. Obviously, 3 straight podiums is great. I got a double pole today and a second yesterday, but I really felt that I needed to do that, and I knew I could. So to win by like over 10 seconds, when you're racing guys as good as these guys next to me, I mean, like we do this our whole lives. It's what we live for. So you can't really do that every day. So I'm pretty pumped to kind of dominate like that, and to obviously people in the championship, which is good. Considering I was like nowhere, like I don't know, I didn't even know how far back I was. So to come back, and I don't even really care about the championship, just I don't want to win. And to win like that's what I live for. So I can't thank everyone enough, the team, my sponsors. For sure, like you said, we went through like the lowest and lows, but it's how you bounce back, and we did. So it's not going to end here though. So we got 2 more races to win, and that's what I'm going to do.
Congratulations. There he is, guys. Hunter Macarey. Exactly that. Focus forward. Keep winning races. Even when you're low, you dig in, and that's how you develop drivers here, develop the mental side of this game. And again, Hunter obviously did not lift off the throttle at all, kept the hammer down, and has delivered for Pabst Racing with 5 straight podium finishes. He'll go to Mid-Ohio, where he won last time we were there as well, to try to score some more victories. This championship most definitely still up for grabs. So we'll get ready to cap things off here. Final champagne spray of the weekend. All 3 of the drivers on the podium have had good weekends here. Again, like I said, with the issue with Christian Rasmussen, Braden Eves now just 17 points back. Same goes for Hunter Macarey. He's still in the championship contention as well. Boys, champagne is yours. Cap the weekend off in style. These suits can now, of course, get put in the wash. Oh, Braden Eves bails out quick, solid run. Well, folks, thank you so much for being part of this Road to Indy Thunder Grand Prix here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. We appreciate you all coming to enjoy the event itself. Great to see the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series here on the Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires. We had some great racing, some different weather as well, which really made for some exciting action here today with the wet weather changes, a wet race, wet to dry, a lot of different conditions, but we do appreciate everyone being here. 1 more race to go for Indy Pro and USF 2000. They'll cap things off, of course, at Mid-Ohio on the October 1st, 2nd, 3rd weekend. Still a couple of weekends for Indy Lights as they'll go to Portland and WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. But again, we'll cap everything off on the 1st weekend of October. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. We appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in to Road to Indy TV. We are done for the weekend here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. On behalf of everyone from Anderson Promotions, Road to Indy, and Road to Indy TV, my name's Rob Housen. Bye for now.
Here is a bit of wisdom from your Uncle Cooper. Tires exist on a spectrum. On one end, you got too much tire. On the other, you don't get enough. Both ends are rip-offs. You're either paying for more than you need or needing more even after you pay. So if you want a tire that costs what tires should cost and does what tires should do, go right for the sweet spot. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
At TopCon, we know a thing or two about a smooth surface. Roads and highways, piece of cake. Airports, let's just say it'll be the smoothest landing you've ever had. But what about when you want to go fast? real fast. No, faster. We've helped cars go faster than they've ever gone before. Broken a few lap records along the way. Want the best paving performance? Go to the source. Topcon, always one step ahead.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
As your uncle, I want you to know that on the road to life, there will be rough spots, and they will chew up your tires. I recently took a road trip to Greensville to attend a chili cook-off. Rough roads all the way down. I drove there on these Cooper Discoverer and Duramax tires. You know, they're made with the durability of off-road tires, but for on-road driving. Without them, we might never know the winning bean-to-meat ratio of a good chili. And those are the things in life, my friend, worth driving towards. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! I'm hungry now.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Welcome back, race fans. We hope you're still around. I know it's been a very long race weekend, but we got to congratulate Race 3 winner, Hunter Macarey. Awesome job. I mean, this has been a bit of a long time coming. You had a poll earlier today. Obviously, you wanted to make amends on that one, so you go out and just lead a flag-to-flag victory. Pretty dominant. Take me through it.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's like not much words for it. I mean, you know how tough this game is, and this year's I've had it all. But, you know, this weekend I knew I had a really good car like I've had previously. And obviously to get the win at Mid-Ohio was great. And I've been on the podium 5 straight races, which is you can never complain with. But this weekend I was kind of just, oh, man, I felt like the bridesmaid a bit. And yesterday I was second. I closed up on Reese.
Impossible to pass.
And it was just like you couldn't pass. And then obviously in the rain I just didn't really have the speed at the start that Petrov had. Second again off pole. And, you know, the double pole today was great, and I knew it would help me a lot, I guess, on my journey or quest to win, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, today I was like, no one's passing me in that last race into turn 1. And it was like a decision I made. And, yeah, you know, I guess winning by 10 seconds or whatever it was sums it up. It's when you're racing guys, you know, as good as you are in this category, it's not often you get to do that. And I'm just so happy and so kind of just content, really. You know, you don't really get this opportunity as much as you would probably like. Obviously, when we're winning every weekend, right? But to go out and win by 10 seconds, and the car was just amazing. Feels good. So I'm happy. I'm kind of, I guess, a little just relieved more than anything, because I wanted to win so bad. I probably wouldn't be in a good mood if I didn't get a win this weekend with how much pace we had. But yeah, just absolutely stoked. I can't thank everyone on the team enough. Tony East, my engineer, gave me an incredible car this weekend. Obviously, have to thank my sponsors as well for backing me and believing in me to do things like that as well. So yeah,
Well, especially in the tough time too, right?
right. I mean, I think I was like P7 in the championship at one point, and
Yeah.
it was like just so much things out of my control, and to be honest, really the team's control at one point, where it was just like, what's the point? I was literally probably at breaking point, and to come back like I was from P nowhere to P3 in the championship, I believe, and this run I've had is just awesome. So, it's probably taught me some lessons to never give up. Tough times are brutal, but they don't last. Tough people do. So, yeah, just really happy.
Well, and it's happened at an opportune time. I've been in your spot before where you have a season lull, but you always want to have a good result right around this time, because it's silly season. Contracts are coming.
Right.
Doesn't matter where you're going to go race next year. It's always good to put wins on the resume at this time of year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're winning, the phone's ringing is like what I like to say.
Well, but you look at guys that had that strong run earlier in the year, and then they're going through their lull now.
Right.
It's
I mean,
tough, right?
yeah,
it's good. I
dude.
mean, I'd honestly, because we had such a long break, I don't even remember your tough time now, because I remember you on the podium 5 times in a
Right.
row. So
Yeah,
it's
man.
a perfect time to kind of come on.
No, I think you kind of summed it up really well there. Like, I think it's important to close out strong. Obviously there's one champion, but if you're closing out the year strong and winning races, you're going to be remembered. And, I don't know one bad thing winning does or causes. So when you're winning like this, everything's perfect.
And it builds momentum. And, you talk about it, too. I look at you winning race 3. I would way rather win the last race on the weekend and ride the momentum. You've got a couple weeks now before we obviously close out at Mid-Ohio, but at least you can leave here a winner. You look at a guy like Reese Gold,
Right,
he
right.
dominated a good race, went out and got pole, but now he has to go home with a crash race car with that last thought in his head of, I didn't win.
Right.
So that's got to help.
I mean, yeah, it's like yesterday he obviously won. It was a really good race we had. Obviously, in terms of racing here, there's not much wheel-to-wheel you can do once you settle into a rhythm, like we talked about the dirty air. But, yeah, he won. Obviously, yesterday he was a winner, and then today
Loser,
I guess. So.
Yeah, I mean, not to be harsh, but
Right.
that's
I mean, he's had to be honest, I have to give credit to Reese. Like, he's done an incredible job. Obviously, he's with a pretty dominant team, which has a lot of pedigree, but he's really done a good job. Like, not that I didn't expect him to be up the front battling, but I think he's really made everyone go, wow, this kid's quick. So hats off to him. These cars are really physical to drive, especially around tracks like this. So the little guys, you'd expect them maybe to have a little bit of a tougher time, but he doesn't seem to get affected by that. So good on him. I guess it's turned into a bit of a shout out for Reese Gold, but good on you, Reese.
No, fantastic. Well, Hunter, congratulations on your race win. Race fans, thank you for sticking around this Thunder Grand Prix. It's been awesome getting to host you. Don't go away anywhere, though. In 1 week's time, we take 1 weekend off, but in 1 weekend's time, we are at the Portland Grand Prix for Indy Lights, and that battle in the championship is just heating up between Kyle Kirkwood and David Malukas. Until then, we'll see you down the road.